Hello everyone, and welcome back to Scarlet Hollow. We're still at the library with Kanika, Stella, Gretchen, Pixel, and Oscar. I hope you're all having an excellent Friday, and if you're not, well, let's get through it together. Let's see here. Now, where did we stop off last time? Well, when in doubt, pick the trade option, right? Alright, let's talk about historical buildings of Scarlet Hollow. You both all look so unhappy with my decision. Oh my god, you read that? That book was assigned as punishment if we misbehaved in school. It's an excellent sleep aid. NyQuil and melatonin have nothing on historical buildings of Scarlet Hollow. I hate to say this, but I also would probably actually read historical buildings of Scarlet Hollow and be happy about it. Rumor has it that nobody has read it from cover to cover. You guys are missing out. That's one of my favorite books here. Such rich history. Guess we're just kindred spirits, Vinny. Stella, when were you going to tell me that the mayor is a dog? Darn, I was hoping it'd be a surprise. Scarlet Hollow hasn't had a human mayor since the 1920s. Yeah, if you were hoping the mayor might be able to help us out here, you're out of luck. I'm afraid it's true. Mayor Jimmy is a rascal and not to be trusted. Now hold up, Kanika. Can't Vinny talk to animals? Maybe she can get the mayor to help. Stella, how would that even work? It's not like we can just tell people the mayor told Vinny to listen to them. I can't believe I'm even talking about this. You're right, though. You're right. Back to our mayorless drawing board. What happened to the estate? At some point, the hill it was built on started falling apart. I think it's pretty stable at this point, though. Is it? Stella, you've seen the place. And half of it is still mostly okay. Why don't people go to church here? We've just never really had a good pastor around these parts. Not as long as I've been around, at least. And I'm not really much of a church person anyways. What's the time? The building gives off weird vibes, too, and not in the fun, haunted way. Even the hospital here is named after my family. I know it's in the name, but calling it a hospital is generous. Right now, it's a one-woman medical clinic. If any serious emergencies happen these days, we've got to call an ambulance from out of town. That's where Reese and his mom live. She's the town doctor, though these days she doesn't really see a lot of patients. The Tremaine Homestead, I keep trying to say the Tremere Homestead. I want you all to appreciate my personal horror here. The Tremaine Homestead seems like the only thing here that doesn't have the Scarlet name stamped on it. Yeah, I think they've been around these parts even longer than your family, though they're the Tremaines and the Callaways now. They literally split their farmhouse in half over that schism. Duke, rest his soul, was one of the last two Callaways left. Guess it's just down to Bo now. I can't imagine what he's going through right now. So, about the coal mines here. Kanika visibly shudders. I get cold sweats just thinking about being in a place like that. I feel for the guys who work up there. I could never. Speak for yourself. I love a good crevasse. I'm sure you do, Stella. I'm sure we all do. A union-busting mine collapse from poor working conditions color me shocked. Yeah, it's pretty awful. That's what the sculpture out front is for, commemorating all the men and children who died that day. Every kid in Scarlet Hollow learns about the collapse of 1918. Our teachers love to emphasize how many children they had working down there, probably to try and show us how good we have it or whatever. Low bar, if you ask me. You know, that could be what the Digelings are warning us about, another collapse. Writing it down on the list of potential disasters. Yeesh, Stella, that's morbid. And besides, it was all Charles Shaw's fault. Charles Shaw. The labor market is way more strict now. There's no way you could get away with that kind of safety cutbacks he pulled. Yes, you can. Y'all don't actually think the mine is about to collapse, right? No, I don't think so. Whew, I'd be worried for a second. I hate to give Tabitha any credit, but the mine is safer now than it was back then. Still, what a horrible thought. You never know. History tends to be written by winners. Maybe there's more to Charles Shaw's story than these dusty old books that are letting on. Normally, I'd be inclined to agree with you there, but we're talking about an old-timey coal boss. I'd be shocked if he wasn't cutting corners. Then he does make a fair point. Shaw was certainly a problematic figure, but there might be other details that were lost to time. Sure, but the guy was run out of town on a rail. And that's not a figure of speech. Back then they actually tied you to a rail and ran you out of town. There's a big mural of it on the far wall. So it's not my ancestor. Great. He got off easy, if you ask me. What happened after the mine collapse? The book just kinda glosses over that. There was a union for a little bit, but it didn't last. There's not a whole lot written about the past century here. Yeah, the Scarlet Hollow mine isn't exactly the most ethically run business. No offense or anything, I'm sure Tabby runs the mines better than Charles Shaw did. Still hasn't let the union in, though. There's a reason she and I don't talk. What if there's something toxic in the mines poisoning the town? Wayne seems sick. Honestly, that sounds like one of those plausible explanations, like one of the most plausible explanations we've had so far. What about the ditchlings? I don't know, maybe there's some sort of parasite down in the mines. Maybe it infected Wayne, and maybe Wayne infected the local wildlife. Huh, yeah, that could work. Stella, what was that you were saying about nuclear incidents? You were talking about the Goldsboro thing, right? Yeah. Apparently in the 60s, a B-52 carrying a live warhead broke up mid-air and dropped a couple of bombs. Fascinating bit of history there. The first of the two bombs landed upright after its parachute got caught in a tree. Thankfully, it didn't go off. At the time, the government claimed that the bomb was unarmed, but it later came out that the only thing preventing a detonation was a single electrical switch which fell to trigger on the descent. And 60 years later, the second bomb still hasn't been recovered. Right. Its conventional explosive disintegrated in midair, but most of the nuclear material was made unrecoverable by flooding. If I remember correctly, they just buried it and sealed it up. I'm sorry, did you say they buried it? Do y'all need something dug up? Because if so, I'm your gal. Goldsboro is over 300 miles from here. I don't think we have to be worried about that. Yeah, that's fair. It wouldn't make sense for the ditchlings to be here specifically if that was the case too. We also really shouldn't be looking too much into this whole disaster angle. Whatever those creatures are, they're biological. You never know with radiation. We actually know quite a bit. It just melts you. It doesn't make monsters. And a 60-year-old bomb isn't going to explode on its own hundreds of miles away and kill us here. Radiation... Excuse me. Radiation does in fact make monsters. Google the elephant's foot. I mean, it's not like, oh... No, you know what? I think it counts as a literal monster. She's very beautiful, but she's a literal monster. You never know. There could always be a whole underground society of bomb-worshipping mutants just waiting to blow it up. I've missed this. You lean in and quietly whisper to Stella and Kanika. You guys think there's, like, a cult here? Those cops were awfully suspicious last night. Really weird combination of being dismissive and trying to pin things on me. I don't know, it just feels like a cover-up. Yeah, that was pretty bad. I'm not sure they really have it in them to be part of a cult. Definitely. I don't think they're capable of putting in the effort. Have you had any luck with Rosalina? Not yet. I knew a teen would be a handful, but I didn't think it'd happen overnight. I'll probably head out once you're all done and check in on our usual haunts. So, Silas Scarlet. What a revisionist biography. Really glosses over all the war crimes to paint a picture of a self-made man. It's a perfect example of why you should use multiple sources for your research instead of trusting the first thing you read on a subject. Yup, dude was a monster. Sorry you're related to him. This town is stuck in the past and built on atrocities. It's already practically collapsing onto itself. No offense. But maybe that's why the ditchlings are here. None taken. Why would the ditchlings be here now, though? Scarlet Hollow's been like this for as long as I can remember. So, Appalachian folk monsters. Here we go. Do you think the ditchlings are Tommyknockers? What with the whole warning thing? Good thought, but Tommyknockers live in mines. That's like their whole thing. I'm gonna write it down though. Tommyknockers are literally just the sound that happens when a bunch of rocks and wood are about to collapse. Are they? Or are they the sound of mysterious creatures pounding on the rocks and support beams with hammers to cause a collapse? There's simply no way to know. Hopkinsville goblins were silvery, small, and traveled in a pack. There's a lot of similarities to ditchlings there. Those are 100% confirmed aliens, though. Unless... The Hopkinsville goblins were just a couple of owls some drunk farmers saw at 3 a.m. They're not aliens. And before you say it, no, ditchlings aren't aliens either. It doesn't matter if the goblins were actually aliens. It doesn't matter if ditchlings are aliens. What matters here are the similarities between them. Alright, I can respect that. But if the Hopkinsville goblins were ditchlings, there's not a whole lot going on there. And that's a big if. It'd probably rule out the whole Portent of Doom thing. I'm already ruling that out. I have never heard of ginseng babies before this. Oh yeah, that myth is pretty buried. The author managed to unearth it for this book. Get it? Have you seen what ginseng roots look like though? Creepy stuff. Creepy, but incapable of screaming. Yeah, that's one of those things that even I don't buy into. Wampus... Wampus, the expressions going on here are great. Wampus cats sound like they could be mountain lions, voiced like a woman crying out, somewhere between person-sized and cat-sized. Oh yeah, if you ever have friends that are like, I heard a woman screaming in the middle of the woods, and they don't know that it was actually a woman, it was probably a mountain lion. Like seriously, again, Google it, look it up. It sounds so much like a woman screaming. Like, I don't blame anyone for getting confused. Definitely, they are 100% mountain lions. Kanika, you know there are no mountain lions up here. I thought you were supposed to be a skeptic. Oh, Stella, one of these days you'll trust us. But the myths are old, right? Mountain lions didn't go extinct in the Appalachians that long ago. Those legends just haven't died off yet. Almost every cryptid can be tracked down to either a hoax or someone getting confused about a perfectly normal animal. Sometimes both. Bigfoot, for instance, started as a prank, then folks saw bears walking around on their hind legs and got freaked out, and now here we are. You'll eat those words when I get the first clear footage of a Bigfoot. If you manage that, I will print out a piece of paper that says Bigfoot isn't real and literally eat it, I promise. I'm holding you to it. They're such good friends. I'm enjoying this. There's some striking similarities between Mothman and ditchlings. Both of them are portents of doom. Mothman, love that guy. There's a whole subgenre of cryptids that serve as bad omens, but the disaster angle is definitely a clear connection. Maybe Mothman is what happens when a ditchling is all grown up. But they're already reproducing, and they don't have wings, and they're pale and blobby. Huh. They have a certain caterpillar vibe, don't they? Why am I even engaging with you on this? Portents of doom aren't real. You know, one of my grandma's families had a thing where if a white, butterfly. If a white butterfly flew into your house, someone was going to die within a month. Don't know where that folklore came from. Just know it got passed down. Why is the Jersey Devil even in this book? The Pine Barrens are specifically not in Appalachia. Because he's cool? The Jersey Devil is like the granddaddy of North American cryptids, and it's kinda close to Appalachia. Back when I was a kid, I always wanted one as a pet. Stella, that beast would tear you to shreds. Oh, Stella, that beast would tear you to shreds. I'm all the pet you need. My mom used to tell me the Tally-Po story back when I was little. Actually true. I can't believe I forgot that one. It scared me so bad I didn't eat soup for years. I thought a monster might try and dig it out of my stomach if I did. I love that one. There's this old chimney in the woods that I used to think was the chimney from Tally-Po, the one that was left after the thing did whatever it did. Now I know that's just because chimneys don't burn down and wooden houses do. That doesn't mean it's not the chimney from Tally-Po. I've camped out there a couple of times and seen some pretty spooky stuff. Yeah, I watched that video. You saw raccoons. You're gonna get rabies one of these days chasing after wildlife like that. A raccoon out at night? That's not getting near you? No, probably not. What can I say? I like to live on the edge. I wonder if there are any parallels between the Bell Witch and what is haunting Oscar's house. That's a thought. We can circle back on that tomorrow. Please, for my own sanity, let's stay focused on just one paranormal incident. Which is why we're circling back on it tomorrow. Let's move on. The mines are the obvious common thread between everything we've researched. Between Wayne, the old collapse, and the fact that the whole town's practically been built around them, they're the smartest place to start our investigation. Good idea. There's an awful lot of mines-related stuff in my notes. We can poke around and find out if anyone's seen anything weird. Just to clarify, you two are suggesting we go to question some of the miners, right? We are not poking around unprepared in the actual mines, right? Right? Yeah, totally, 100%. I would never. We don't even have a good reason to go down there. Good. Let's keep it that way. You know how I feel about mines. I promise, Neeks. We're just going to question some of the miners. And if that questioning is a good reason to poke around, say, a cool abandoned coal mine, then we'll just cross that bridge when we come to it. You can cross that bridge when we come to it. I am not going underground. I'm just messing with you. We'll stick to the surface. Yeah, and hopefully we can find out what's wrong with Wayne while we're at it. Hopefully this means I'll get a chance to get to know Tabitha a little better. I don't think she's going to be super jazzed to see us snooping around the mines, let alone bothering her when she's trying to run the place. She does get a little grumpy when she's at work. She gets grumpier at work. I'm pretty sure snark is that girl's baseline level of existence. Chatting over dinner might be a better way to get to know her. If you're okay eating boxed mac and cheese. We can sneak around the mines, no problem. I'll make sure to keep my eyes peeled for her. I won't even know we were there. Look at us going out on a caper together. I miss this. I missed it too. I mean, sure, it's not under the best circumstances, but I've been so wrapped up in running the store, I didn't realize how much I missed being able to hang out with you. Though, there is something missing. Reese. I really miss that dude. I can't believe how long it's been since we've seen each other. Have you seen him lately? Nope. I tried to plan stuff, but he's been too sick. I didn't realize it was getting so bad. The poor guy. You know, we could just pop over and surprise him. He seemed pretty excited to meet Vinny. Maybe we'll finally get him to leave this little cave. Hell yeah, let's do it. Alright, let's roll out. See ya, Oscar. We'll let you know if we run into Rosalina. Thanks, guys. Oh, thanks, guys. I'll keep you posted. Reese's home stands at the edge of the forest wall, an isolated buffer cushioning the rest of the town from an unending wilderness. Unlike several of the other entries in historical buildings of Scarlet Hollow, this one still looks mostly like it did in the book. Reese, it's Stella. I brought some buddies too. Shh, not so loud. He's still sleeping. Can I help you with something? The woman in the doorway stares directly into your eyes. You can practically feel simmering irritation washing over you. Hi, Dr. Kelly. We were wondering if it would be okay if Reese could come hang out? Nothing strenuous, we promise. I'm not gonna wake him up. If he's sleeping, he probably needs it. Whatever you two have planned is probably beyond what he can manage right now anyways. Uh-huh. Oh no, poor Reese. It's just been so long since either of us have gotten the chance to hang out with him. I'm sure he and Vinny would get along super well, too. Wow, you've really done an incredible job maintaining this place. Excuse me? Oh, don't mind Vinny. She's just a big fan of historical buildings of Scarlet Hollow. Dr. Kelly looks you up and down. You don't think you've done anything wrong, but she's certainly making you feel like you have. Reese's mom turns back to the house, sighing. Sorry, that was a little rude. You just want to hang out with Reese, and he misses both of you, too. She sighs again, as if deciding whether to finish her thought. He's usually feeling his best around mid-afternoon. Why don't you come over tomorrow? We can have some supper, and y'all can hang out for a bit. I don't promise he'll be perky, but I'm sure it'll brighten his spirits to see you two again. And I suppose you can come too, Vinny. That would be great. I can bring a side dish, maybe deviled eggs. Does he still eat those? No, eggs are a little much for him. They don't settle well. You can leave the cooking to me. I know what he can handle. Okay, I'll bring soda then. That's not... Okay, yes, fine, you can bring soda. Nothing with caffeine. Ginger ale, preferably. Oh, and leave the dog at home. She might cheer him up. You know they have these therapy dogs in hospital... No dogs. Why, I never! The absolute gall! Thanks so much, Dr. Kelly. We'll stop bothering you now. See you later. Dr. Kelly nods in acknowledgement and quickly shuts the door. The sound of several locks clicking into place can be heard from within. God, that woman makes me so nervous. I remember she used to be so nice and carefree when we were kids. She always had the best stickers when we had to get our shots. Maybe she's just stressed about Reese. Or maybe she's just nice to kids. Either way, it's just the three of us. You gonna drive? Yeah, sorry. I don't like the thought of going up there without the van. Cool, I'll take my shortcut then. It shouldn't take long for me to get there. You're welcome to tag along, Benny. Don't worry, I won't be offended if you'd rather ride with Kanika. I'm sure you're probably sick of the woods. Either way works for me. Let's get to know Kanika a little better. I'll ride with Kanika. See you at the mines. Nika is a careful driver, but her old van still bumps around the mountain roads. Thanks for indulging us on that little diversion. Reese's mom can be a lot, but I'm glad we have solid plans for tomorrow. Stella and I haven't really seen much of him the past few years. This sort of isolation can't be good for his health, no matter what his mom says. Does Stella have a thing with cars? It took some convincing to get her to ride back with the cops last night, even after everything that happened in the woods. She brushed me off when I asked her about it last night, too. I was wondering if there's more to it than just, like, not liking them. Wait, she actually got into a car last night? She must have been really freaked out. That's how her parents died. Car crash. She was in the car too. Just some cuts and bruises. But she doesn't like cars and tries her best to stay away from them. I don't think she's ever going to actually leave this town. Has she seen someone? Like a therapist? Good luck finding a therapist within walking distance of Scarlet Hollow. I don't think that's something Stella'd go for anyway. She likes to solve her own problems. So what's actually going on with Reese? Good question. I wish I knew. His mom's been saying he's sick for years, and it's not like she's wrong about it. He's been a wreck the few times I've seen him. I just find it a little weird that his mom hasn't brought in any outside doctors, at least not any I'm aware of. I mean, she's a doctor, but if your kid's been housebound for this many years, you'd think it was something you put a lot more effort into fixing. I don't know. I'm probably just projecting or something. Sounds a little like fictitious? Fictitious? Yeah. Sounds a little like fictitious disorder. Yeah, I try not to think about that. Do you have any other theories on what's going on, aside from what we talked about at the library? I don't know. I don't think there's enough information yet to support any strong conclusions. I've been wondering if what you two saw was maybe some sort of mutated animal, like a strain of hairless monkeys or raccoons or something. Do you know about Morgan Island? It's off the coast of South Carolina, and there's a whole population of rhesus monkeys infected with herpes, like 4,000 of them. Maybe the ditchlings are some kind of alopecia research monkeys. Which sounds ridiculous now that I've said it out loud. Forget I said anything. Wait a minute. Ah, that's Sailor Moon. No, I totally buy that. Those weird sounds, the not quite human, ape-like appearance. Okay, good. Glad I don't sound nuts. Have you ever thought about living somewhere else? Asking the real questions, huh? I can respect that. Yeah, this wasn't the plan, and it still isn't. I was actually a couple years into vet school, top of my class, might I add, when my dad died. My mom wasn't up for running the store, and my brother... Well, you'll meet Miles if you haven't already. I only wanted to take a semester off, help them get back on their feet, but it's been a year and change now. Not just about my family, too. The general store? That's the general store. If it winds up going under, it's hard not to imagine the whole town collapsing with it. Jesus Christ, Kanika, that's a lot of pressure. Maybe I'll get to go back next semester. You'd be a great vet. I've seen how you are with Gretchen. Oh, shucks. I was really into biology during undergrad, and growing up around Stella and her mom gave me a special kind of love for animals. You and Kanika sit in comfortable silence for the last few minutes of the ride. You and Kanika arrive at the mines before Stella. Stella's probably going to be another couple of minutes. Hey! Hey y'all, how was the ride? Oof. I'm gonna put Gretchen down for a sec. It's good to see both of y'all again. Gretchen. Did you run here? Yeah, felt like getting a run in. Didn't want to keep y'all waiting. My poor Stella was scared out of her mind. You would have thought the very hounds of hell were at her heels. And all that running rattled my bones something awful. Maybe I should have gone with Stella. I didn't think about that. You didn't run into any of those creatures, did you? Nope. That makes sense. They're probably nocturnal. I don't know if I should feel relieved or disappointed. But we're all here. What's the plan? I guess we just go talk to people. I guess so. I should probably be on lookout duty. I'm a bit of a persona non grata in the mines. Tabitha? Yeah. I might have tried sneaking in to talk to her a time or two too many. And Gretchen makes it extra hard to be sneaky. What can I say? I thrive in the limelight. We're probably less likely to get caught if only one of us is snooping around down there. I've got this. You'll do great. So, the plan. You know those cheesy old rom-coms where somebody wears an earpiece on their first date? Whoa! Do you have some kind of surveillance set up in the back of your van that I didn't know about? What? No! I have a pair of earbuds with a really good mic. We can just do a group call. Kenny can hand you a pair of earbuds. We can feed you questions if you get stuck, and Stella can give you a heads up if Tabitha's headed your way. Dang, I've missed doing this sort of thing with you. You're so thorough. Aw, thanks. I do my best. I guess we should part ways and start the call, yeah? Stella and Kaninka break off, leaving you alone at the entrance to the mines. And I think that's where we're gonna stop today. Big stretches. Well, I'll see you on Monday. I hope you have a pleasant weekend.